The day my sister stole my life started like any other Tuesday, except it ended with me throwing up in the executive bathroom while my family celebrated without me. My name is Valerie, and until that morning, I was the rising star at Morton and Associates, our city's premier management consulting firm. I'd spent 6 years climbing the ladder, leading successful projects and earning the respect of our biggest clients. The promotion to senior director was practically mine. I'd even drafted my acceptance speech. "Val, can you come to HR?" Sandra's voice crackled through my office phone. "Just a quick chat." I smoothed my blazer and grabbed my portfolio, assuming they wanted to finalize the promotion details. The hallway buzzed with unusual energy, whispers, darting glances, forced smiles. "Have you heard?" someone whispered as I passed. "About Camilla? Can you believe it?" My stomach dropped. Camilla. My younger sister, the one who'd followed me into the company 3 years ago, riding on my recommendations and connections. Sandra's face told me everything before she opened her mouth. "Please, sit down." "What's going on?" She shuffled some papers. "There have been concerns about your recent project performance, the Singapore deal specifically, and the Thompson account." "Concerns? I turned both those projects around. We exceeded targets by—" "We have documentation suggesting otherwise." She slid over a folder. "Anonymous reports from team members, emails showing missed deadlines, communication failures." My hands shook as I flipped through the pages. None of this was real. These weren't my emails. These weren't my numbers. "In light of these issues," Sandra continued, "the board has decided to go in a different direction for the senior director position." "Different direction?" "They're announcing it at 11. Camilla will be taking the role." The room spun. "Camilla, she's been here 3 years. I've been here 6. I led those projects. I'm sorry, Val. The decision is final." I stumbled out just as people began flooding toward the main conference room. Through the glass walls, I watched my sister take the podium, her perfectly styled hair catching the light. "I'm deeply honored," Camilla began, her voice carrying through the doors. "Success isn't just about individual achievement. It's about vision. My vision. My words. The speech I'd written weeks ago, now flowing from her lips like she'd crafted every syllable herself. I pulled out my phone, dialed my father's number. He answered on the 4th ring. "Dad, you have to help me. Camilla, she's stolen my promotion. She's fabricated reports, forged emails." "Valerie," his voice was stern, "stop this nonsense. Your sister earned that position." "But Dad, be happy for her. This jealousy is beneath you." The line went dead. I tried my mother next, but her response was worse. A soft, disappointed sigh. "Maybe if you'd worked harder, dear. Camilla's always had such natural talent." Natural talent. Right. Like the time she took credit for my college thesis research, or when she dated my high school boyfriend behind my back. Always Camilla, always forgiven, always praised. I made it to the bathroom just as the applause erupted from the conference room. While I heaved up my breakfast, I could hear them starting the champagne celebration. My phone buzzed, a text from Camilla. "Don't be mad, sis. You know I'll take care of you. Assistant director spot is opening up." I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. Tears had carved trails through my makeup, but something else was emerging beneath the mess. Something cold, something patient. "Congratulations on the promotion," I typed back, my fingers steady now. "You deserve everything that's coming to you." I walked back to my office, pulled out a resignation letter I'd drafted months ago for a different purpose. As I signed it, Camilla's voice drifted down the hall, laughing with our parents who'd apparently shown up to celebrate. "I just knew she had it in her," my mother gushed. "That's our girl," my father agreed. "A true Shelton success story." I placed the letter on Sandra's desk and walked out of Morton and Associates for the last time. They thought this was the end of my story. Poor Valerie, always second best, finally put in her place. But they were wrong. This wasn't an ending. This was a promise. I'd let them celebrate today. Let them bask in their victory, their delusions, their champagne toasts. Let them think they'd won, because revenge, I was learning, is a dish best prepared in silence, and I had all the time in the world to make this meal perfect. "You look like shit," Jace said, sliding a coffee across his kitchen counter, "but at least you're not in Chicago anymore." 3 weeks had passed since I'd fled Morton and Associates. I'd driven 8 hours to Detroit, where Jace, my former colleague who'd quit Morton's last year, had offered me his spare room. "Thanks for the brutal honesty," I said, managing a weak smile. "And the coffee." "That's why you called me, right? Because I'm the only one who'll tell you the truth?" He leaned against the counter. "Like how Camilla was doctoring reports months before your promotion was due?" I nearly choked on my coffee. "You knew?" "I tried to warn you. Remember that encrypted email I sent? The one about reviewing digital signatures on team documents? The memory hit me like a slap. I'd dismissed his warning as paranoia." "Why do you think I left?" Jace continued. "I saw what was coming. Your sister's good at making problems disappear, including people who might expose her." A knock at the door interrupted us. Willow, Jace's lawyer friend, strode in wearing a power suit despite it being Saturday. "All right, pity party's over," she announced, dropping a thick folder on the counter. "Time to build something." I eyed the folder. "What's this?" "Your future." Willow spread out documents like she was dealing cards. "Jace tells me you're brilliant at identifying undervalued assets and turning them around. Well, guess what? There's a whole market for that." "Private equity," Jace added, "but with our own twist." Over the next hour, they laid out their vision, a boutique firm specializing in acquiring distressed companies, small enough to fly under the radar, but strategic enough to make serious moves. "One problem," I said. "I'm toxic in the industry now. Camilla made sure of that." Willow's smile turned sharp. "That's why you won't be the face of the company. You'll be the shadow CEO. I've already drafted the paperwork under a holding company structure. Your name appears nowhere." "Think about it," Jace pressed. "You know how these companies work from the inside. You know where they hide their weaknesses." I stared at my coffee, watching the ripples. "It'll take years." "So?" Willow challenged. "You got somewhere better to be?" The next months proved them right about the timeline. We pitched to 30 investors. 29 said no. I rehearsed presentations until my voice gave out, studied market reports until my eyes burned. Another rejection. I sighed one evening, 6 months in. They said we're too inexperienced. "Good," Jace said, not looking up from his laptop. "Good. Every no makes you stronger. Every rejection teaches you something new." He finally met my eyes. The Valerie I knew at Morton's would have quit by now. The Valerie at Morton's was naive. Exactly. Our first real break came 9 months later. A small manufacturing company in Ohio, bleeding money but sitting on valuable patents. We acquired it for pennies on the dollar, restructured, and flipped it for triple our investment. Then came another. And another. Holy shit! Willow said, bursting into our new office space 5 years later. Have you seen this? She thrust her tablet at me. On the screen was a financial news article. Shelton Holdings faces unprecedented crisis. Stock plummets 60%. My father's company. The family legacy he'd always said I wasn't ready to handle. The empire Camilla had been helping him run into the ground. They're looking for investors, Willow continued, watching me carefully. Desperate for a bailout, Jace appeared in the doorway. Val, you okay? I stood up, walked to the window overlooking Detroit's skyline. 5 years of building, learning, growing stronger. 5 years of watching them from afar, tracking their mistakes, waiting for the perfect moment. Remember what you said about every rejection teaching something new? I turned to face them. They taught me the most important lesson of all. Which is? Willow asked. Patience. I picked up my phone, dialed our acquisition team. Get me everything on Shelton Holdings, every debt, every asset, every skeleton in every closet. Val. Jace's voice carried a warning. Are you sure about this? I thought about Camilla's stolen speech, my father's dismissal, my mother's sighs. They think they destroyed me, I said quietly. They think I disappeared, broke down, gave up. A smile spread across my face, not warm, not kind, but satisfied. It's time to show them exactly what I became instead. The phone connected. This is Valerie. I need our best team on this. Full analysis, complete discretion. I paused, savoring the moment. We're going hunting. It's worse than we thought, Dalton said, spreading documents across my conference room table. Way worse. I'd hired him as our external financial consultant 3 weeks ago to investigate Shelton Holdings. His cover story was perfect. A routine audit for potential investors. My family never saw the knife coming. Show me, I said. They're drowning in debt. Your sister's been cooking the books for years. He pointed to a series of spreadsheets. See these projections she showed investors. Pure fantasy. Real numbers are about 40% lower. Willow whistled from her seat. That's securities fraud. Gets better, Dalton continued. 3 class action lawsuits pending from angry shareholders. Oh, and they've been selling assets to cover payroll. I picked up a photo from his pile. My father and Camilla on CNBC last week, both smiling confidently. The caption read, Shelton Holdings leadership promises strong Q4 recovery. They're still playing pretend, I murmured. Your father's leveraged everything, Dalton added. The company, personal assets, even the family estate. One strong push and it all collapses. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost declined until I saw the Chicago area code. Hello? Val, it's Camilla. 5 years of silence, and now she calls. I put the phone on speaker, gestured for everyone to stay quiet. This is unexpected. I kept my voice neutral. I know. I've been terrible. Her laugh sounded forced. But I've been thinking about you, about us. We should reconnect. Should we? We're sisters, Val, family. I miss you. A pause. Maybe we could get coffee next time you're in Chicago. I caught Willow rolling her eyes. We both knew what this was, the desperate reach of a drowning woman. Actually, I said, I'm in Chicago next week. Business trip. Perfect. Tuesday? That little place on Michigan Avenue you used to love? Sure, Camilla. Tuesday works. After hanging up, Jace shook his head. She's fishing, trying to find out what you've been up to. Let her fish. I turned back to Dalton. Tell me about their debt structure. He pulled out another document. Most of it's bundled together. Word is, they're trying to find someone to buy it all at once. Take over the whole company. And if someone did, they'd own everything. Could strip it for parts or demand full repayment. Either way, your family loses control. I stood up, walked to the window. Detroit's lights twinkled back at me, a constellation of possibilities. Make the calls, I told Willow. Set up our shell company. I want to be first in line when that debt package goes on sale. Val. Jace's voice was quiet. This is more than business now. Are you sure you want to... Did you see the interview? I cut him off. The one where my father blamed market conditions for their failures, where Camilla talked about innovative leadership while their employees lost their pensions. Nobody spoke. They're still lying, still pretending, still thinking they can smile their way out of consequences. I turned to face my team. Well, I'm done pretending. Done watching them hurt people. Willow started typing on her laptop. I'll have the paperwork ready tomorrow. We'll need a new company name. Phoenix Holdings, I said without hesitation, because something new is about to rise from their ashes. Later that night, as I was leaving the office, Dalton caught up to me at the elevator. There's one more thing, he said, handing me a USB drive. Found this in their internal servers. Looks like your sister's been recording private conversations. Insurance, probably. I plugged it into my laptop when I got home. Camilla's voice filled my living room. Of course I'm worried, Dad. But if things get worse, well, maybe it's time to consider other options. My father. What options? The pension fund. If we moved that money, that's illegal, Camilla. Only if we get caught. And it's better than losing everything. I mean, who would you rather protect? Some retired workers or your own family? I stopped the recording, hands shaking. Not from anger this time, from certainty. My phone buzzed. A text from Camilla. Can't wait for Tuesday, sis. So much to catch up on. I typed back, looking forward to it. And I was, because now I knew this wasn't just about my revenge anymore. This was about justice. For the employees they'd betrayed, the investors they'd deceived, the trust they'd destroyed. Tuesday couldn't come fast enough. Camilla was already waiting when I arrived at the coffee shop, occupying our old corner table. 5 years had added subtle changes, faint worry lines around her eyes, designer clothes that seemed a size too formal for a casual meeting. Val! She jumped up, arms outstretched for a hug I didn't return. God, you look different. Time does that. I sat down, noting how her eyes tracked my Cartier watch, my tailored blazer. I ordered your usual. She pushed a cup toward me. Still take it black, right? Actually, I don't drink coffee anymore. Green tea. Her perfect smile flickered. First control play failed. So, she leaned forward. What have you been up to? Still in Detroit? Here and there. I stirred my tea. Started a small non-profit, working with underprivileged youth. Oh. The relief in her voice was palpable. That's nice. Very you. A notification pinged on her phone. She glanced down, and I caught the flash of panic before she masked it. Everything okay? I asked innocently. Fine. Just work stuff. You know how it is. She laughed, but it sounded hollow. Actually, that's partly why I wanted to meet. To apologize about everything that happened at Morton's. 5 years is a long time to wait for an apology. I know. I was young, ambitious. She reached for my hand. I moved it away. But family is family, right? Water under the bridge? The memory hit me suddenly, finding the email thread she'd fabricated. Me, staying late one night at Morton's, discovering her logged into my computer, methodically destroying my reputation piece by piece. How did you do it? I asked quietly. The Singapore deal reports? She blinked. What? The forged emails, the fake performance reviews. Was it just you, or did you have help? Val, that's ancient history. I thought we were moving forward. Just curious about the mechanics. Professional interest. She shifted uncomfortably. I don't know what you're talking about. Those reports were legitimate. Like the Thompson account numbers? The ones you manipulated after accessing my computer that Thursday night. Color drained from her face. How did you— Security cameras, Camilla! The IT logs. I found everything. Just too late. Silence stretched between us. Outside, Chicago traffic hummed past, oblivious to our quiet war. What do you want? Her voice had lost its sweetness. Nothing. Just catching up with my sister. I smiled. How are Mom and Dad? They're fine. Another phone notification. This time she couldn't hide her grimace. Stock market troubles? I asked. I heard Shelton Holdings is having a rough quarter. Minor setbacks. Dad's handling it. Like he handled my career. She stood up abruptly. This was a mistake. You're still bitter, still stuck in the past. I reached out because we need to stick together as family. No. I cut her off. You reached out because you're drowning. Because whatever house of cards you've built is falling apart. You don't know anything about my life. I know enough. I stood too, gathering my coat. By the way, how's the pension fund doing? She froze. What? Just wondering, since you suggested moving it to cover other expenses. How did you— Her eyes narrowed. Have you been spying on me? Goodbye, Camilla. Good luck with those minor setbacks. I was almost at the door when she called out, I did what I had to do! To protect the family name! Turning back, I saw something new in her eyes. Fear. The family name? I laughed softly. Don't worry, that won't be a problem much longer. Outside, Willow was waiting in the car. How'd it go? Exactly as expected. I checked my phone. 3 messages from our acquisition team. She's scared, desperate, and she has no idea what's coming. The debt package goes up for sale tomorrow, Willow said. We're positioned to buy everything. Good. I watched the coffee shop shrink in the side mirror, Camilla's silhouette still visible through the window. Time to show them what real protection of the family name looks like. My phone buzzed, a text from Jace. You sure you want to do this? I typed back. They're not just hurting me anymore. They're hurting everyone they touch. It ends now. Because that's the thing about karma. Sometimes it needs a little help. And I was done watching from the shadows. Tomorrow, the real game would begin. They're here. Jace's voice crackled through my earpiece. 3rd floor conference room. I stood in our observation room, watching through one-way glass as my family filed in. My father first, his usual confident stride now hesitant. My mother, clutching her designer handbag like a shield. Camilla, in a power suit that couldn't hide her exhaustion. Remember, Willow murmured beside me, you don't have to be here for this part. Yes, I do. Our acquisition team entered, led by Dalton. My family didn't know he worked for me. Didn't know this entire meeting was theater. Thank you for coming, Dalton began, adjusting his glasses. We've reviewed your proposal. Excellent. My father leaned forward. I'm sure you'll find our terms reasonable. Actually, Dalton shuffled some papers. We have concerns about the valuation. Camilla jumped in. Our projections clearly show. Your projections? Dalton raised an eyebrow. Or the real numbers? Silence fell. My mother's knuckles whitened around her bag. I don't appreciate your tone, my father said stiffly, and I don't appreciate fraudulent financial statements. Dalton slid documents across the table. These are your actual numbers. Care to explain the discrepancy? Through my earpiece, I heard Camilla's sharp intake of breath. Where did you get those? She demanded. Does it matter? What matters is that you're not just in debt, you're potentially facing criminal charges. My father stood up. This meeting is over. Sit down, Mr. Shelton. Dalton's voice turned cold. Unless you'd prefer we take this discussion to the SEC. They sat. I watched their faces as Dalton outlined their options. Accept our terms for buying their debt, or face complete dissolution. This is absurd, Camilla protested. We have other potential investors. No, you don't. Dalton smiled. We bought your debt package this morning, all of it. The color drained from my father's face. You can't. We can. We did. And now you have exactly two choices. Work under our management or declare bankruptcy. Either way, Shelton Holdings belongs to us. My mother started crying softly. Camilla was typing frantically on her phone. Who are you people? My father demanded. Who's really behind this? Through the glass, I saw Camilla freeze, saw realization dawn in her eyes. It's her, isn't it? She whispered. This is Valerie. Dalton didn't react. You have 24 hours to decide. Choose wisely. They stumbled out like shell-shocked survivors. Through security cameras, I watched them huddle in the parking lot. It has to be her, Camilla was saying. The timing, the information they have. Impossible, my father snapped. She's running some small non-profit in Detroit. Wake up, Dad. She played us. All this time she's been... Enough. He cut her off. We need solutions, not conspiracy theories. I turned off the feed. Well, they'll take the deal, Willow said. They have no choice. Camilla knows. Let her. Jace stepped into the room. What's she going to do? Tell everyone her sister outsmarted her? My phone buzzed. A text from Camilla. I know it's you. We need to talk. Don't respond, Willow advised. Let them sweat. Another buzz. Whatever you're planning, remember they're your parents too. I laughed bitterly. Now she remembers we're family, Val, Jace said quietly. Do you want justice or do you want blood? They're the same thing. Are they? He handed me a folder. Your sister's been recording conversations again. Listen to this one. I opened the audio file. Camilla. We have to tell them the truth about the company. My father. There's nothing left to tell. No way out. Camilla. Then let me take the fall. I did this. Not you, not Mom. My father. We all did this. Together. I closed the file. Playing noble won't save them. No. Willow agreed. But it might change how you destroy them. Looking through the glass at the empty conference room, I remembered countless family dinners at that same table configuration. Remembered being told I wasn't trying hard enough, wasn't good enough, wasn't Camilla. "Send the final paperwork," I told Willow, "but add one condition. I want them all present when we reveal who bought their company." "When?" I checked my watch. "Tomorrow, 9 a.m. I smiled. Time to show them exactly what their disappointing daughter became. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just taking everything, it's making them watch as you do it. "They've signed," Willow announced, striding into my office at 8:45 a.m. "All 3 of them." "Any resistance?" "Your father tried adding conditions. We shut that down." She smirked. "They're waiting in the main conference room now. Camilla's been Googling everyone connected to our firm." "Finding anything?" "Not a trace. We scrubbed everything clean years ago." My phone lit up with a message from Jace. "Security feeds show Camilla making calls in the hallway. Want me to intervene?" "Let her," I typed back. "She's about to lose signal anyway." At precisely 9 a.m., I watched through the security feed as Willow entered the conference room. Right on cue, every phone in the room died, a neat trick our IT team had prepared. "What's happening?" Camilla demanded, jabbing at her phone. "Security protocol," Willow explained smoothly. "Standard procedure for sensitive meetings." My father stood up. "This is ridiculous. Where's your boss? We deserve to meet who's taking our company." "Oh, you will," Willow assured him. "Very soon." I straightened my jacket, checked my reflection one last time. 5 years of waiting, building, planning, all for this moment. "Ready?" Jace appeared at my door. "Almost." I pulled out an old photo from my desk, our last family dinner before everything fell apart. Just remembering why we're here. The walk to the conference room felt like floating. Each step brought me closer to the reckoning I'd dreamed of. Through the frosted glass, I could see their silhouettes. My father pacing, my mother sitting rigid, Camilla staring at the door. I pushed it open. For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Nobody breathed. "Hello, family." Camilla recovered first. "I knew it! I fucking knew it!" My mother's hand flew to her throat. "Valerie?" My father's face turned red. "What is this nonsense?" "This," I said, taking my seat at the head of the table, "is what winning looks like. Though I suppose you wouldn't recognize it on me." "You can't do this!" My father sputtered. "You don't have the experience, the connections." "Actually," Willow interrupted, sliding documents across the table, "she has everything, including your company as of—" She checked her watch. 12 minutes ago. Camilla lunged for the papers, scanning them frantically. "This is impossible! You're running a nonprofit in Detroit!" I laughed. Amazing what people believe when they don't bother to fact-check. Kind of like those performance reviews you fabricated about me. "That was different. I was protecting our family's legacy. And now I'm protecting it from you." My mother finally spoke, her voice trembling. "Valerie, dear, surely we can discuss this. We're family. Family?" I cut her off. "Was I family when you watched Camilla steal my promotion? When Dad dismissed my warnings? When you all celebrated while I lost everything?" Silence fell. Through the windows, Detroit's morning sun cast long shadows across the table. "What do you want?" my father asked quietly. "Everything." I opened my laptop, turned it to face them. "Your company, your assets, your reputation. You'd destroy your own family." His voice cracked. No, Dad. You did that. I'm just making it official. Camilla stood up so fast her chair toppled. This isn't over. I'll fight this. I'll tell everyone what you've done. Like you told everyone about the pension fund? I played the recording of her conversation with Dad. Her face went pale. Or should we discuss the falsified investor reports? The embezzlement? You're bluffing. Try me. I nodded to Willow, who opened another folder. The SEC would love to hear about all of it. My father's shoulders sagged. For the first time in my life, I saw him look defeated. What are our options? He whispered. Simple. Work for me, at entry-level positions, or leave with nothing but the clothes you're wearing. This is what you want? My mother asked. To humiliate us? No, Mom. This is justice. For every person you've stepped on, every life you've ruined, every truth you've buried. Camilla's laugh turned hysterical. Justice. This is revenge. Call it whatever helps you sleep at night. I stood up. You have 1 hour to decide. Choose wisely. As I turned to leave, my father's voice stopped me. We should have listened to you, back then. I didn't turn around. Yes, you should have. The door closed behind me with a satisfying click. Through the glass, I watched them. My family, my first betrayers, my final conquest, as they faced the consequences of their choices. And for the first time in 5 years, I felt truly, completely free. They're ready, Jace said, exactly 1 hour later. I took a deep breath and returned to the conference room. My family sat exactly where I'd left them, but something had shifted. The air felt heavier, charged with defeat and desperate calculation. Well, I settled into my chair. My father cleared his throat. We'll take the jobs. I won't. Camilla stood up, chin raised. I refuse to be your puppet. Sit down. My father hissed. No. She turned to face me. You want to destroy us? Fine, but I won't give you the satisfaction of controlling me. I smiled. That's your choice. Willow, the NDA, please. Willow slid a document across to Camilla. Sign this, and you can walk away. Break it, and everything we have goes to the press. Everything? Camilla's voice wavered. The forged reports. The pension fund scheme. Those interesting conversations you had with the board members' spouses. I leaned forward. Did you really think I wouldn't find out about your little side affairs? She snatched the pen, signed without reading. Classic Camilla. Act first, think never. Goodbye, sister. She spat the last word like poison. I hope this makes you happy. The door slammed behind her. My mother flinched. Now, I turned to my parents. Let's discuss your new positions. Please, my mother whispered. Not anything too public. The shame. Dad, you'll be working in mailroom operations. Mom, reception. I pushed over their contracts. Standard benefits, minimum wage, no contact with executive leadership. My father's hands shook as he signed. The company, our name, is being rebranded. I opened my laptop, showed them the mock-ups. Phoenix Holdings goes public next week. Shelton Holdings ceases to exist. All those years of building, my mother dabbed her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. Start Monday. Don't be late. I stood up. Willow will show you out. Valerie. My father's voice stopped me. That day, at Morton's, when you called us about Camilla. Save it. No, please. We should have believed you. Should have seen You saw exactly what you wanted to see. I turned back. A golden child who could do no wrong, and a disappointment who could do no right. Well, look at us now. They shuffled out like ghosts, shoulders bent, designer clothes suddenly looking like costumes they'd borrowed. Jace found me later on the roof terrace, watching the sunset paint Detroit's skyline in shades of victory. "Camilla's gone dark," he reported. "Bought a ticket to Miami. She'll be back." "You think? She can't help herself." I sipped my tea. "But it doesn't matter. The NDA is ironclad, and we have everything documented." "Your parents started their new jobs?" "HR's processing their paperwork now." I smiled. "Dad's going to love learning how to operate the mail cart." "And you?" Jace leaned against the railing. "Did this fix it?" Before I could answer, my phone buzzed, a news alert. "Breaking. Shelton Holdings acquired by Phoenix Group. Major restructuring announced." Below it, a text from Camilla. "You think you've won? This isn't over." I showed Jace the message. "Should we be worried?" "No." I typed back 3 words. "It already is." Then I blocked her number. "You never answered my question," Jace pressed. "Did this fix what they broke?" I thought about the scared girl throwing up in Morton's bathroom, the years of doubt, of rebuilding, of planning, the look in my father's eyes when he realized his golden child had led them to ruin, and his disappointment had risen from the ashes. "Nothing can fix what they broke," I said finally. "But this proves they were wrong about me, about everything." "And that's enough?" The sun dipped below the horizon, leaving Detroit glittering like scattered diamonds. Somewhere down there, my parents were driving home to their newly mortgaged house, facing their first night as employees rather than emperors. Camilla was probably on her flight, plotting uselessly against an NDA she hadn't bothered to read. And me, I was exactly where I'd fought to be, at the top, looking down, holding all the cards. "It's not about being enough anymore," I told Jace. "It's about being everything they said I couldn't be." My phone buzzed again. Willow this time. "Press conference tomorrow? They're asking for the mysterious CEO of Phoenix Holdings to make an appearance." I smiled. "Tell them I'll be there." Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just winning. It's winning in front of an audience. The cameras flashed as I stepped up to the podium. Hundreds of business reporters packed the room, all hungry for the same story. Who was behind Phoenix Holdings' meteoric rise? "Good morning," I began, my voice steady. "I'm Valerie, CEO of Phoenix Holdings." The room erupted. Questions flew like arrows. "Where did you come from?" "How did you acquire Shelton Holdings?" "What's your connection to the family?" I held up my hand. Silence fell. "The business world loves a good origin story," I said. "Here's mine." In the back of the room, I spotted my father in his mailroom uniform, frozen mid-delivery. My mother sat at the reception desk, watching the live feed on her monitor, hands clasped tight. 5 years ago, I learned a valuable lesson about trust, family, and power. I watched as lies were rewarded, theft was celebrated, and truth was buried. Cameras clicked frantically. In the front row, a familiar face appeared. Camilla, press badge hastily clipped to her blouse. Our eyes met. "But this isn't a story about revenge," I continued. "It's about responsibility, about consequences, about building something honest from the ashes of deception." I clicked to the next slide. Phoenix Holdings financial projections. Real ones. Transparent ones. Under previous leadership, Shelton Holdings hid its corruption behind a family name. That ends today. Phoenix Holdings will operate with complete transparency. Every number real. Every deal clean. Camilla stood up. And what about family loyalty? What about family loyalty? I cut her off. Like falsifying reports to steal promotions. Like endangering pensions to cover fraud. The room went dead quiet. My sister, everyone. I gestured to Camilla, living proof that loyalty means nothing without integrity. Security appeared at her sides. She shrugged them off, storming out instead. Starting today, I continued, Phoenix Holdings introduces full profit sharing for all employees, including our mailroom staff and receptionists. My father dropped his mail cart. Letters scattered across the floor. Because success isn't about names or titles. It's about building something real, something lasting, something true. The questions came rapid fire after that. I answered each one honestly, watching my parents' faces as their former empire transformed before their eyes. Later, in my office, Willow brought me the evening papers. My face splashed across every business section. Stock's up 30% since the announcement, she said. Transparency sells, apparently. A knock at the door. My father stood there, still in his uniform. These need signatures. He held out some mail, not meeting my eyes. Thank you. I took the envelopes. How's the new job? Humbling. He lingered. Your speech about building something real. Yes. You did. We never could. He turned to leave, then stopped. I'm sorry we didn't see it sooner. After he left, Jace appeared. Camilla's giving interviews, trying to spin this. Let her try. Truth beats spin every time. My phone buzzed. A message from my mother. The reception desk feels familiar, like when I started working, before I met your father, before we lost our way. I didn't respond, but I saved the message. So, what now? Willow asked, reviewing acquisition proposals. We're getting offers from every major player in the market. Now? I walked to the window. Below, employees streamed out of the building. My employees, all equal, all valued. Now we build something better than revenge. And your family? I watched my father pushing his mail cart toward the parking lot, saw my mother locking up the reception desk, thought about Camilla, probably plotting her next move. They chose their path, I said, just like I chose mine. Jace smiled. Phoenix Rising? No. I turned back to my desk, to the future I'd built from their ashes. Phoenix Risen. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying your enemies. It's building something so magnificent that they're forced to watch from the ground floor, knowing they could have been part of it, if they'd only believed in you from the start. I picked up the next acquisition proposal. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new opportunities, new chances to prove that success doesn't require deception. But tonight, I'd savor this moment of perfect clarity, when every choice, every struggle, every sleepless night had led to exactly where I needed to be. Not in their shadow, but in my own light.